Hello and welcome to Dave's Delightful Dishes. As always, I'm Dave, and as always, I'm delighted to have you here visiting in my kitchen. And today we're going to do a recipe based on a note that I got from Marc with a C from Connecticut. Marc asked me, how hard is risotto to make? It seems like it's difficult, and can you show us how to do it? Now, it is one of these things that does seem mysterious, but really it's not a hard dish at all. So I'm going to go through the ingredients that we need, and we're going to go ahead and make this because this is a quick side dish that's perfect for Side Dish Saturday. And I am happy to do it. So for starters, we have 6 cups of chicken broth that are warming up here on the cooktop. We're going to use that later in the ingredient down the road, but we need to have it already warm. We need 3 tablespoons of olive oil, which I'm going to pour out as I go, so I have it in my container at the moment, rather than messing up 3 ramekins because it's divided. 1 pound of mushrooms, sliced very thin. And today, and that usually those little packages of mushrooms you get are 8 ounces, so you would need 2 of those. And you can always add more if you like. But I've sliced these very thin, and I'm mixing it between baby bellas and shiitakes, because that's what I had around. But any mushroom that you might feel like you want to have in there, there's all kinds of crazy ones. Go ahead and give it a shot. We need 2 medium shallots, diced. And I diced them kind of small. And a medium shallot is probably, about that size. Like about the size of a lime. 1.5 cups of arborio rice. And it has to be arborio, otherwise it's not risotto. You need 4 tablespoons of butter, salted. 3 tablespoons of chopped green onion, which I chopped pretty firmly here. And I'm experimenting with having my leaving my green onions in dirt and letting them continue to grow and get new sprouts, and just kind of clip them off with a pair of scissors. And so far, it's working really great. So if you want to consider that, give it a try. And I'm going to put up a picture of all these ingredients before we get over to the cooktop. But that's basically it, other than we need 1/3 cup of Romano cheese grated. And I did kind of a fine grate on these, and this is fresh. And you could also use Parmesan if you like. So like a Pecorino Romano, a straight Romano, or a Parmesan. Any of those would be fine. And then finally, salt and pepper to taste. You guys know what my pepper mill looks like, so we will head on over to the cooktop and get started. So we have a hot, high-sided pan here, and I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of olive oil in. 1, 2. And I have this on medium-high heat. Actually, I got it on high heat right now, but I'm about to bring it down to medium-high. There we go. And I'm going to put the pound of mushrooms in. And I got to keep these moving. And we want to sweat the moisture out of these and have them reduce. So this could take 3 to 5 minutes. But let's give it a stir. Just kind of get oil coated on most of these. And I'm going to drop it down to medium heat so they don't burn or just solid stick to the side. And we just got to keep these moving. And we're going to let them sweat and reduce until they've given up their liquid. So I will see you guys back in about 3 to 5 minutes. Yep, 3 minutes is all it took. And as you can see, there's a major difference in appearance. So I'll flip this down to low while I take these mushrooms off. And put them on a plate on the side for now. And if you get any that are stuck to the bottom, don't worry about it. They will come up later in the process. And the last bit here. And there we go. So now I need to add another tablespoon of olive oil. And we're going to drop in the shallots. And I'll put that back up to medium heat now. And we're going to stir these just for a minute. So I'm just going to continue talking rather than cutting away because it's just not a long enough time. So you want to keep everything, you always want to keep moving, and I want to keep moving the oil around the plate too. And that one little mushroom isn't going to be too big a deal. But it's the same thing as we're doing with any kind of onion-like vegetable or garlic. What we're doing is just trying to heat this up so that it softens and turns translucent and gives up some of its aroma. In this case, 30 seconds to a minute is all it takes, depending on how thin you dice it. And I recommend dicing it thin. All right, and that actually is looking just about there already. So now we got to add the rice. And we'll stir that around. And see if we can get it just a light golden brown as it's cooking on this pan before we start adding any liquids. And again, this doesn't take very long. Some people do the same kind of treatment to rice pilaf. Give it a toast before they boil it. So I'm still on medium heat now, and I'm starting to get a little bit of the browning. So I'm going to put a half cup of white wine in and give that a stir. And I'm going to go ahead and take my lid off of the chicken broth because as soon as this gets absorbed, I got to start going one ladle full at a time with the chicken broth until it's all absorbed and this rice is, tender to the tooth. It should be about 15 or 20 minutes, but it's 15 or 20 minutes of you just constantly stirring so that it doesn't go all the way dry and burn. So I'm going to show you one of these, and then we're going to go ahead and time travel to the end. Let me give it 2 ladles in. There we go. And we just got to keep that going and let the rice absorb it as we stir constantly. So I will see you back when we are at the end. So we are down to what is going to be the last ladles full. And this is almost absorbed up to where it needs the last ladles full. So you can see the rice is getting thicker. It's getting bigger, which means it's absorbing all the liquid. And we're trying to make all this liquid go away completely. So now that that's thick and almost like cream, I'm going to put another ladle full of the hot chicken broth in. Another 2 ladles full. And then there's this tiny little bit left, so we're going to put that last bit in there. And now we're just going to keep stirring this until it absorbs. So as you can see, very close, if not all, of the liquid has been absorbed. But as you're stirring it, you can see it's just like creamy now. So we're going to add to that with the final ingredients. We're going to put in the 4 tablespoons of butter. And stir that around, let that start. And I've got this back on low. I had it off for a second. I got it back on low just to assist with keeping this warm while I'm trying to melt the butter. And don't worry, it'll melt. And the mushrooms are all going back in now with their juice, as well as almost all of my green onion. Leave a little bit there. And keep that stirring around. And now I need to add some salt and some pepper. One heavy pinch. 2 heavy pinches of salt. Yeah, I'll make it 3. And then some ground pepper. Let me stir this around again, get it all combined. Still got to work on that butter. There's a little bit of it left. Now, if your butter is warm, like room temperature, it will combine faster, but this isn't going to take very long, so it's not that big a deal. And now that that's combined, I'm going to take one portion off for me because I don't eat cheese. And then for everybody else, here comes that third cup of Pecorino Romano. Shake it around. I've got the heat off now. Stir it, let it melt. And adjust the salt and pepper to your taste, or just have salt and pepper on the table in case people want to adjust it themselves. But this is now really creamy and ready for service. So I will see you back at the workstation for final plating. Okay, so this is all ready to go, and you would keep this warm or reheat when you're ready to serve. But with how quick and easy this is, it took me about 25 minutes from start to finish. I think you just plan this to be the last thing that's done for your meal if it's a side. If it's your main, whenever it's done, it's done. And if you wanted to do this as a vegetarian, you could just substitute out the cheese, the butter for margarine, and then take the chicken broth and turn it into vegetable broth. And then you would have a perfectly vegetarian dish. So we get a nice portion of this. I'm going to get that into my bowl. Maybe a little bit more for the top. And wow, you can smell the Romano. It's gooey. It looks good. Put a little extra of the green onion on the top there. And we have a lovely side dish. So if you'd like to try this, you should. It's delightful. So Mark, I hope this helped you. And for everyone else watching, I hope this helped you too. And I hope you try this at home. Make a variation of it if you like. I mean, there's all kinds of mushrooms out there, and you can pretty much put any vegetable you want in there, or meat if you wanted to do that too. So let me know what you did. Send me pictures. Send me comments. Give me another thing you want me to do. If you haven't seen the thing you've sent in yet, don't worry. It's on its way. And like always, hit like and subscribe if you do. And please, that's very important to my channel. So if you do like it, hit like. And subscribe and hit the bell so you can find more of my stuff. I'm posting all the time. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you soon.